It's a quiet Tuesday afternoon. You're working alone in a small store just off the highway. The parking lot is nearly empty. You hear the familiar chimes as the door opens. A man walks in. Average height, average build, nothing particularly measurable about him. He seems calm, maybe even polite. A few seconds later, he's gone. And so are you. Lying face down in the back room, shot once, execution style, in the back of the head. Barely any money taken from the register. This is the terrifying, unsolved story of the I-70 killer. In the spring of 1992, a cold, methodical predator drove along Interstate 70 through the Midwest, hunting ordinary people who were simply trying to make a living. He didn't rape them, he didn't torture them, he barely stole anything. He just killed, quickly, efficiently, and without mercy. In just 29 days, he murdered at least 6 people. And more than 30 years later, we still don't know who he was. "26-year-old Robin Fuldauer had her whole life ahead of her. She was a salutatorian of her high school class, a proud Indiana University graduate, and the manager of a Payless shoe store at 7325 Pendleton Pike. Robin was ambitious, kind, and well liked by everyone who knew her. She dreamed of one day owning her own business and starting a family. That warm spring Tuesday, she opened the store just like always. The morning was slow. Around lunchtime, a man walked in through the front door. There were no other customers. Robin was completely alone. What happened next took only minutes. The man forced her into the back storage room. There was a single gunshot, a .22 caliber round to the back of the head, execution style. When a customer later walked in, they found cash register drawer open and no one behind the counter. Robin was discovered lying in the storage room in a pool of blood. Only about $60 was missing. Her purse was untouched. The back door had been left open, suggesting the killer slipped out that way and disappeared into the daylight. It looked less like a robbery and more like a cold, calculated assassination. Just 3 days later, and over 700 miles west along I-70, the killer struck again. 32-year-old Patricia Maggers owned Le Bride d'Elegance, a bridal shop. She was working that evening with her friend and employee, 23-year-old Patricia Smith. Both women were happily married. Patricia Maggers was even expecting her first child. They had stayed open late for a customer appointment. A man entered the store. He pulled out a gun, calmly ordered both women into the back storeroom. There, he forced them to their knees and shot each one of them once in the back of the head. Patricia Magers died instantly. Patricia Smith clung to life for a few more hours, but passed away later that night. The real customer who arrived moments after the shooting saw the gunman leaving calmly and fled in terror. When police arrived, the front door was still open, the key still in the lock, and almost no money had been taken. 2 innocent women, 1 location. The killer was clearly growing bolder. Back east again on another Tuesday, 40-year-old Michael Mick McCowan was working alone at his mother Sylvia's ceramic shop. Mike was a gentle, quiet man who wore his hair in a long ponytail and had an earring. He was kneeling down, stocking shelves, when the killer walked in. Investigators believed the killer may have mistaken Mick for a woman because of the store's name and his appearance from behind. The man approached silently, 1 single gunshot to the back of the head. Less than $50 was taken from the register. No one heard the shot. No one saw the killer enter or leave. Mick was later found that afternoon, still kneeling where he had been working. His mother lost her only son in her store. "24-year-old Nancy Kitzmiller was working alone at Boot Village, a shoe store in Bogey Hills Plaza. She was young, friendly, and simply trying to earn a paycheck. The killer walked in during the afternoon. He forced her to the back room and shot her execution style in the head with the same .22 caliber pistol, same cold efficiency, almost nothing stolen. Just 4 days later, 37-year-old Sarah Blessing was working alone at the Store of Many Colors, a small gift shop. Sarah was a beloved member of her community. A video store employee across the parking lot actually heard the gunshot and rushed over, but it was too late. Sarah was found dead in a pool of blood. And then, just like that, the killing stopped. Six victims in just 29 days, all killed on Tuesdays, all working alone or with one other person in small stores located within easy access of Interstate 70. All shot with the same .22 caliber pistol. Very little money was taken and almost no physical evidence left behind. The FBI and local police formed a massive multi-state task force. They released composite sketches. A white male, roughly 5'7" to 5'9", thin to medium build, sandy or reddish hair, and possible acne scars. Investigators believed he was likely a truck driver or a traveling salesman, someone who could cover hundreds of miles without raising suspicion. The communities along I-70 were thrown into panic. Small store owners started closing early, working in pairs, or installing panic buttons. Women who worked alone lived in constant fear every Tuesday. For families, the pain has never gone away. Robin's parents and sister still talk about the vibrant young woman whose future was stolen. Patricia Maggers left behind a husband and unborn child. Michael McCowan's mother lost her only son in her own store. These weren't just names on a list. They were real people with dreams, families, and everyday lives that were ended in seconds. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence in this entire case came nearly 10 years later on November 30, 2001, again in Terre Haute, Indiana, just blocks from where Michael McCowan was murdered in 1992. That evening, Billy Brosman was working alone at the liquor store right off Interstate 70. Security cameras captured everything in chilling clarity. A middle-aged white man walks in, casually grabbing a six-pack of beer, approaches the counter, and suddenly pulls a gun on Billy. He forces him to hand over the cash drawer, then marches him into the back room. You could see Billy raise his hands, as if saying, "Easy, man," and then there's a single gunshot to the back of the head. The killer calmly walks out with a handful of bills and disappears. The method was identical to the I-70 burners. Execution style, 22 caliber shot to the back of the head, very little money taken, and the victims left in the back room. When investigators released a clear surveillance footage, many detectives immediately said the same thing. That's him. The man on the tape is a dead ringer for the 1992 composite sketch. Same narrow face, same drooping eyelids, same cold demeanor, only older. So who was the I-70 killer? We still don't know. Some believe he's dead. Others think he's still alive today, now an older man living a quiet life somewhere. There have been several persons of interest over the years, and modern DNA testing on a shell casing that is still ongoing. But no definitive breakthrough has come. Some investigators even suspect he continued killing in other states using different methods.